Hey there, good morning. Happy Saturday, everyone. I was working on some music and had a waves issue, so I'm having to repair that now. So I figured I'd say hey. Had a great time last night. I went out to play a few songs at the Wiseman Brewery in Winston Salem. I think I'd been there before, but never played. My good friend Shane Key had a set there, and that dude is just incredible. He does looping and plays the kick drum while he's singing and playing harmonica. And if you haven't seen him yet, it's a real treat. And he's a good dude for letting me play with him. So I played a couple songs. That was fun, and I had some friends come out and support as well. So that was great. And I was planning on kind of filming something this morning. So this is my studio. This is where I work, and so I was going to work on a song. And I was planning on working on music this morning anyway, but it was pretty cool. So I played 3 songs last night. I played "Coffee in the Morning," and then I played a new one that's part of the new EP that I'm wrapping up, and then I played "You Got It," my version of the Roy Orbison classic. But it was cool because after I play it, I try to walk around and hand out these little cards I have so people can go check me out on Spotify or Instagram or whatever and follow along. And this guy was like, "Hey, what was that song you were talking about and played? It's called like something about making up time." And so that was a new song that he'd never heard before, and he was asking about like when I was going to record it and stuff. So it's obviously that's pretty motivating. I really want to get these songs done, but to have someone actually want to hear it again, and after just hearing it for the first time was great. My friend Anthony actually texted me about it this morning. He said, "Hey, that was stuck in my head," so that's a good sign. So I'm going to work on that this morning. I figured maybe I could give you a little bit of a studio tour here. So and this is going to be a little technical. So if you're not into recording, maybe this is going to be boring, but so I work in Pro Tools. I use PC and Mac for different things, but when it comes to music, I'm an Apple guy. I really like Universal Audio. I've got a Twin and a Apollo 8, Apollo 16. Don't really need that with my little setup here. I used to have that up at my barn where we'd record full band. So I don't need that many inputs. And I also love Neve. So when I'm singing, I sing through a Neumann 87 and a Neve 1073. This is the DPX version from AMS. So I usually run that straight into a Universal Audio 1176 limiting amplifier, and that's kind of like my analog chain that I love singing through. Obviously, I love technology, so I have no problem using plugins and things like that. I use Waves, which is crashing on me now, but I always try and get a good sound coming into the box, and then you can manipulate it there. I also use a Kemper. The guys in the Rex and Andrew D'Angelo to talk me into going that route, and I'm so glad and grateful for that because I don't know, I've been doing this for a really long time, and when I started out, things like Amplitude and even early guitar rig software was just it was good, and I would use it just because it was easier to manipulate the sound later, but at some point I was like, it's so much better to just throw even a halfway decent mic or just to throw a 57 on in front of your amp and just take that, which is still great, but with the Kemper, like they sound so good, and you can recreate the tones live as well. I mean, I bet you a majority of all live shows you see now are like probably fake cabinets with the Kemper. Your pedal board just plugged into the Kemper that's pumped out over the mains, but maybe not. Obviously, a lot of artists wouldn't do that, but it's just actually way more efficient because there's so many things that can go wrong technically. So with the costs of touring and I don't know. I just think it's a much more efficient way, especially for maybe a mid-level band to do it. So anyway, I suggest it. And yeah, this is still downloading, so I might have to. So well, with this song, it's called "Making Up Time." I used to always be so worried about like sharing music before it's out, like unless it was polished and done, and I was thinking about that this morning. I'm like, why do I care? Like, you spend all this time before releasing something thinking what the world is like desperately waiting to hear your next song. I mean, some people might be, and then you hold it so tightly, and it's going to be this big unveiling, and then you spend the next month wondering why nobody cares about what you just put out. And this reality of it, and the neurotic nature of putting out music. And you get to a certain level, maybe that's not the case, but for me always it's been this kind of like you're going to drop the curtain, and then everybody's the song is going to just explode everywhere, and it's never happened for me, and maybe it never will, and who cares? Like it's more of a long play, as I've stated in previous videos. So I share that with you mainly, maybe it's because I'm just telling myself that and reminding myself that. But I wonder if I can load this up. Maybe I'll pause until I can open up the session, or maybe I won't do that at all. Maybe I'll just do that later. Yeah, so where I'm at with this song is I've received, my process is generally just I'll record a demo, I'll do all the parts and figure out the lyrics and the basic melody and all the harmonies, and I'll just record it all kind of layered on top of each other, and then and I'll program the drums and Superior Drummer. Either start with a basic groove and then kind of edit it from there, and then and get a really good kind of demo of it. And that's the tough part, is like when I would record before, like I would set a deadline for like a CD release, and then I would just not really work on it, and then that last month or week I would just cram it all in there and I'd get it done. But what I realized is if I could take what I did there to that hard deadline and then give myself another month after that and just play the song, because a lot of times most times I'm just finishing the lyrics. So if I could finish the song to that level and then just sit with it and practice it, I think that's probably like that extra 15% where you find some, either big new ideas, or your just vocals sound more relaxed and comfortable in the song that you're doing. There's exceptions to that, but I don't think it's always better to have it be the first time you sang it. So I'm trying not to do that. So this song, I've actually been performing it live like I did last night. So I'm really excited about finishing it on the recording side. I'm toying with the idea of whether or not I'm going to, there's like a, see this, I feel I've got anxiety here over saying this out loud as if it matters, but to have it come across playing live acoustic, just me and my guitar, I have like an a cappella part in the middle, and now I'm like, should I do that in the recording? Because I really like doing it live, and I'm not sure if that maybe should just be something special that I do live or something I actually record. So I'll probably try that today, because there's different things when you're recording and techniques that you can do. Like, it needs it live when it's just me acoustically, but there's a quiet part in the recording version that, like, I don't know if the quiet part is gonna be less effective if I add an a cappella part, or because the quiet part, the a cappella part, isn't going to be as dramatic. So that's the beauty of, and the craziness of doing this yourself, is that you can really do whatever you want. It's always like a blank canvas, and you could always just like light it on fire and start completely new. So I'm not there with this song yet, but by the end of the day, maybe I will be. Well, maybe we'll just consider this a studio kind of quick tour. I don't know if I have anything else to share. I just got this Jackson Audio Silvertone. I think I've put it down yet. I did. So while I do like a Kemper, I've got some kind of analog gear, and I think this came out last year. It's really cool. Great sound for those classic silver tone amps. So kind of go here. I got a hand-wired tube screamer that I use. I'm not a real huge guitar guy. I don't play lead but these hand-wired tube screws are pretty awesome, really killer tone, and having that go into the Kemper and then finding a really good profile for I think I use a Fender Deluxe, but I've got various ones I use consistently, and yeah, I like technology. I love gear. I would never say that I'm the most well versed in it, but as I dig in, and I'm working with different artists, like probably the best thing that happened to me over the last few years in terms of reconnecting with the technology, because when I started to do this, when I first was recording myself with our band Navarre back in like mid 2000s, we were set to go in the studio and just decided, we got bumped, really. We were going to go to the studio. I think I mentioned this in another recording with Mark Hunt and at Robbie Takix from the Goo Goo Dolls studio in Buffalo, and then basically just got bumped because they had a need to use the studio or just busy. So bought a bunch of stuff and started recording myself. Was like I was very, very into everything that was cutting edge and with Pro Tools, and then I kind of just I kept that knowledge, and I was pretty isolated for a while, and I wasn't doing a lot of recording. And then so when my friend Nick Anderson and his band The Rex came to my barn up in upstate New York, they brought with them all of the latest techniques and plugins and technology, and that was great for me to kind of be reinvigorated with what was capable out there, and how much easier it was, like the workflows within Pro Tools and the latest versions of Pro Tools, to be able to make songs. It wasn't as manual as it was when I was doing it, which was pretty cool. So even though I'm much older than them, I hate to give them any type of fodder here, but it was teaching an old dog new tricks, and meant a lot to me, and I think it's partly why I'm as kind of invigorated and inspired to be back at it. So we're still at 74%. So I want to share some of this song. The whole point was for me to play a little bit of it, but I guess you'll just have to wait. So anyway, I hope you guys are having a great day. I will share more later. And if you have any questions about recording or songwriting or really anything, you can drop them in the comments, and I'd be happy to at least give you my thoughts. I don't know if they're right or wrong, but I would never say how I go about doing things in the creative process or the recording process are the best ways to do them, but I'm willing to share what I figured out works for me. So hope you're having a great day. Talk to you soon.